Coming up, we're talking about the Enchanted Tiki Room Marvel comic book. I'm going to give you my thoughts, opinions, and run through the plot details for you. All that and more in this episode of Diz Pop. Diz Pop is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect vacation. Visit them on the web at dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Well, hello everybody. I am your host, Rhino Clavin. Welcome to this episode of Diz Pop. Like I said, we're talking all about the Enchanted Tiki Room in this episode. Issue 1 is out now at your local comic book store. I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions and feelings on this in just a second. Some fan art, and I wanted to share it because I think it came out really cool. And actually, I'm going to have to put this on display somewhere because it is from The Nightmare Before Christmas. I got this really awesome, check that Sally out. How cool is that? I love the designs in the background. I love the coloring of it. This is beautiful. That's Sally, and then, like, I can put this near the Christmas tree. I can do a little, like, these can stay out for a good amount of the time, but thank you so much for sharing. Check that art out. I love fan art. I love this stuff, and I love that you guys are this talented out there in the world. So please share with me. I like to share it through Twitter. You can email me. I mean, you can. I was gonna say you can email me stuff like this, but that is physically impossible, I think. But you can mail if you have prints that you want me to show off on the show. Mail them to the podcast. I love to see this stuff. Tweet at me at DizPopShow. I'd love to share it. Maybe we can get another fan art episode going where we just kind of all talk about fan art. And it doesn't have to be drawings or paintings. It can be like really anything, whatever you guys want to do. You know, I did do the arts and crafts and drinks videos, so like that qualifies for me as like fan art. I mean, I did the Daredevil and the Marvel, the plates. Those were cool. If you guys have any sort of things like that you do, please share it with me. I love to see it. I love seeing that stuff. I love being crafty with people, you know, and that's definitely the ultimate crafty thing. So next, recently there was New York City Comic-Con, and a listener friend of mine, Jason Biggs, who is a fellow Bostonite. Is that the right word? Bostonite? I'm going with it. He went to New York City Comic-Con, and for those of you who don't know, they debuted the new Power Rangers trailer. That is the movie coming out from Lionsgate and Saban Films in March. And if you haven't seen that trailer, please go watch it. It is pretty awesome, and I'd really be interested to hear your thoughts on it. But I heard they were having a New York City for me to do this, because not only did he send me this guy, which I haven't decided whether I'm going to open yet, but if you see in here, what? How cool is that? Very cool. But we're not talking about Power Rangers today. I will always talk about Power Rangers. But that, he put a couple little other things. They had posters in here. He sent me these awesome, what? Pink, blue, and black Ranger posters. I'll do something like that for you guys. Take you on a little tour. That's not very exciting. It's a little exciting. But anyway, he also sent me this pin, this Ranger Nation pin, which I have no clue. I mean, I know we're called the Ranger Nation fans are, but I think it's officially becoming a thing because it says coming November 2016, and I looked at the website, and I don't know what it is. So something's going on, and I am as them when we come to them. And last fall, I had the pleasure of meeting Brian, Andrea, and Annalise, and they up at the New England meet. And it was very cool to meet them, and they are super nice, and we keep in touch on Facebook. Brian was a big runner, and Annalise is my biggest fan. She is this super nice, just this amazing little girl that is the sweetest thing ever, and I love their Facebook posts, and she drew me. Well, let me stop there. They sent me a lot of these, a couple of really awesome T-shirts. What? This guy, and this guy too. A shirt. You guys know I love my T-shirts. You know I love my themed T-shirts. I mean, this was a super nice. It's like they were reading my mind. I was a little down, and they sent me this stuff, and it's got a bunch of the National Stuttering Association, like koozies, t-shirts, some bracelets. I was wearing one on the show the other day. Bracelets for a cause, and that was very, very thoughtful of you guys. I mean, this is really, really awesome. And I think my favorite thing that was in that box, though, was actually this painting that Annalise did for me. So I just want you to know, Annalise, if you're out there watching, this is going on my refrigerator. So I'm going to see this. I'm going to think about you. And I'm going to keep making these episodes, and I'm going to try and keep working hard. And you do the same, okay? Because I hear from your dad you're doing a really good job, and I'm really proud of you. So keep up the good work, and thank you so much for this box. You guys are just, you're super, super thoughtful. Everybody out there, I really appreciate anything, tweeting with you guys. This stuff, I feel, I just did this, and, granted I bought the Power Ranger stuff, the Power Ranger thing, but, Jason got me the posters, the pin. You guys, this is nice. I do this for you guys, though. This is part of my job. This is one of the funner parts of the more fun parts of my job. It's funner. And I do really appreciate this stuff. Thank you so much. It is really not necessary, but it is very, very thoughtful. And you guys warm my heart. Just even when you tweet or we talk or Facebook conversations, any interaction with the other side of this camera, the other side of the glass or the computer screen that I'm being watched through right now, that I just love. I went to school for film, and film is a collaborative medium, and I really feel like even though I'm the only one sitting here talking to you guys right now, that we're all in this together, and that was very High School Musical of me, that we're all a part of this, and we do this together. And I just want to say thank you to everybody, and it was very flattering. It was weird because they all came in at the same time, and I was like, good God, I have been showered with stuff, and I feel like I don't know the word, a little Pretty Woman-esque right now. So thank you again, guys. But with all that being said, let's dive right in to the piece de résistance, the Tiki Room, the Enchanted Tiki Room comic. So this is the newest in the Disney Kingdom series of. So like I said, they did the Haunted Mansion. They did Big Thunder Mountain, I believe, was the same part of this. I'm not sure. I didn't read that one. I started with Haunted Mansion, and I liked it. It was okay. They're kind of like, the comics are for everyone's of all ages, and it's nice because if you're very familiar with the attraction, it's got, at least for Haunted Mansion, it had a lot of, the lore was involved in it, and, yeah, you can watch my review and thoughts and opinions, and I watched the one where, people would go to the plane, I could have just said that title wrong, and now I'm self-conscious. But they remade that show a couple years ago for TV. Regardless. This was written by John Adams, the artist Horacio Dominguez, and the letterer VC's Joe Caramagna. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But this is issue 1. I believe this is probably 5 issues as well. I remember reading. I'm not 100% sure. Sorry, my puppy's under my feet right now. I love these little boys. So I'm gonna dive right in and kind of talk about the story, and then I'll go into my thoughts and feelings. So I'll read you a little bit of the prologue here. It says, in a remote area of the Pacific Ocean lies a small, beautiful volcanic island. The lush vegetation is home to a myriad wildlife, from exotic insects to fluorescent birds biologists have never witnessed. And if you look closely, you'll find me, a tree with a talking face. So it's one of the totems. So no one knows the true origin of the Tiki Room, not even me, and I'm practically omniscient. I cannot read today. I even know where Amelia Earhart is, but no one ever bothered to ask. Each week we welcome a few special visitors to experience the island for themselves. These are people who need help the most, whether they know it or not. By the time they leave, their lives will be forever changed. As a side note, we offer a strict no-refund policy. Please keep that in mind if you're planning to visit. Right away, this comic establishes a sense of humor, and it might be a little tongue in cheek or a little cheesy, but there are moments in this where it's actually it's that younger humor mixed with actual, there were some adult things in here. So it starts, there are 3 families that are getting off the plane, or I'm sorry, 3 groups of people. There's Agnes, who's one of Hollywood's most famous / forgotten actresses. Without a husband or even just a boyfriend to come with, she opted to bring her dog, Alfred. Then there's the Randy family. They're under the impression that money can solve all their problems, but will money be able to solve the problems they encounter this trip? And then lastly, there's Wally, who recently broke up with his girlfriend. She was his everything, even when he didn't want her to be. I know, Artie, it's a sad story. Maybe, well, my dogs do not agree with Wally, but maybe one kiss will make Wally fall in love again. Fun fact, I've never kissed anyone. Please don't like to, people don't like to kiss trees. They draw the line at hugging. So that's cute. That's the prologue. Then you get to the title screen, and then it kind of starts with Agnes, and she's walking her dog Alfred through the woods. And they actually make a joke about mosquito-borne illnesses in this. And I wonder that this was put up before Zika became a thing, or they were like, you know what, let's reference the fact that we're going crazy about Zika at Disney World and around the world. So it says, as Agnes makes her way through the jungle, she tries to focus on the magic around her rather than the unseen threats of mosquito-borne illness. And it's really kind of funny. It's very... I imagine this narrator is almost like the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, like kind of a narrator. So she sees a flower, she picks the flower, she puts it in her ear, and the dog is very like, oh, stop pulling on my leash. Then she finds the tiki room, and she goes in, and she goes to try and pick one of the flowers in the tiki room, and it speaks to her, because as we all know from the attraction, if you've been, the flowers come alive and, you know, sing and talk, like everything in there. And she's like, how is a talking flower possible? And the flower is just it's just, you know, the magic of the tiki room. All plants and totems all plants, animals, and totems have souls, but once they enter the room, the magic here allows their voices to be heard. So she's like, what? So does the dog have a soul? And the flowers, well, obviously. And so, it's funny because she talks about a snake, too, that comes in and offered some pretty extreme opinions on social issues. After a point, I feel like he was just saying things for attention. I feel like that dig is at a presidential candidate of ours. I don't know. I just got that vibe. So she's Agnes tries to get Alfred to talk to her, and he's just like, forget it. And so it's funny because the flower that she picked, she had put behind her ear, and then it's like, somebody help me. So she goes in, she watches the show, and the show is, you know, it's like our show, except for they're at like tables, so it's a little more like a dinner theater show, but it's the same idea. The birds come down, and they're all there, you know. So there's the attendant who comes out, Chip. I don't think we learn his name, Chip, until later, but you know, it's even like, so there's Jose, my siestas are getting shorter and shorter, and they're, you know, so Agnes is there at the table with Alfred, and it moves forward, and she, you know, why don't you love me, Alfred? So it's basically, the dog's finally like, do you ever think I just have nothing to say to you? So the dog's got some toot on it. She says, is there any chance you can also magically transform into a handsome single man? And she says, I even thought it was funny. She said, before you answer, my definition of handsome is very flexible. So that's kind of Agnes's deal. Then we cut back into the tiki room, and we see all our favorite famous tiki birds chilling backstage here. There's Fritz, there's Jose, Pierre. So there's 4 of them. I can't remember the 4th one's name. But the birds are basically kind of these drama queen performance artists. They're like, Jose wants to sing a new song. He doesn't want to keep singing the same songs. But the other birds are like, but we sing the other song well, so why would we sing this new song? So there's drama, and they basically they break up, or they storm off. You know what I mean? It's a typical Backstreet Boys situation, like, you know, the drama boy band breakup, whatever. And one of the Michael. The bird Michael, where he's leaving, he's like, if you need me, I'll be visiting Tangaroa. And I'm like, oh, like Tangaroa Terrace at Disneyland. And I thought that was fun. But Oh, and so Chip is their like handler, their whatever, and so he's the new volunteer, and I'm a star just like you, only I haven't been discovered yet. It's true that David Lee Roth got a start at the Enchanted Tiki Room. He's been a great role model to me, and I was like, and so the birds are like, oh my god, shut up, guy, and they're invested in themselves. Then we cut over to Wally. And, he's, what's he doing? He's walking through the jungle. He opens up his letter, and it says, tomorrow our relationship is like a volcano waiting to explode. You're too volatile. Go on without me. I'm sorry, Wally. And then it cuts back again to where he's trying to break up with her, and she won't, she's like, oh, you're not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you, because she's a very controlling woman. So anyway, Wally rips the note up and lets it go in the air, and he says, I'm free. So his is like a celebration. But that's going to come around again, that letter that he rips up and let go in the air. So don't forget that. But then we're going to go check in on the Randy family. The Randys. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up really quick, because there was a joke I specifically wanted to mention with Agnes. She says, okay, so in her second frame, she's, she says, oh my, when she's looking at the flower. That flower is almost as pretty as the one Lance Prancer gave me on the red carpet at the Oscars so many years ago. I'll never understand why he could only show affection for me in front of the cameras. So I looked up what Lance Prancer is, or who it is, and it's a term for a homosexual. And I thought that was pretty funny. Like, it made me laugh that it's like, a Rock Hudson situation, and I thought that was really cute. So that was some of the, like, older humor maybe that's in there. But then we go to the Randy family, and basically it's husband and wife with 2 kids, and they're terrible. And Chip comes in with a truck, a wheelbarrow full of toys for these little brats, and he, what's fun here too, look for the orange bird, because you see him poking around in a couple frames. He's even got his own variant cover of this comic. But the kids are basically like, we deserve the best. We're amazing. My therapist, just really spoiled, and they can't get enough. So I'm a little confused here though, because it's basically like Chip brings all these toys, and then a couple minutes later, it says 8 minutes later, the dad says, thanks for coming back. Here's all the decided, thanks for coming back. We've all decided there are children who need these toys more than our children do. Please collect these and donate them to the nearest charity. And the daughters, she's upset. And she says she was outvoted or whatever, but like, the mom says, oh, she's not used to people who have to earn a living. She cries every time she sees someone working for money. And Chip's like, well, technically I volunteered, so I don't actually get paid. So she says, like, the unemployed man is stealing our toys. So I don't know. The kids are like attention whores here. Excuse me for saying that, but that's what they are. And the dad's basically like, I've got an idea. Who wants to go find more things to buy? So they love to buy stuff. So Chip's like kind of frustrated. He's walking along. He finds the ripped up note. He's like, oh, great, garbage for me to pick up. And then he thinks it's a message. And he's like, it must be a secret message from the Tiki gods, and they've chosen me to receive it. So he finds the words, without you, volcano explodes. So he thinks that the island is going to explode, and he needs to do something to be the hero. So he climbs up to the top of the volcano, and he has to make a sacrifice, and he makes the ultimate sacrifice because obviously Chip has headshots of himself. So he lets one of the headshots begrudgingly go into the volcano. Good for you, Chip. And then the afternoon fireworks for lunch goes off, and of course he thinks they're for him. So he thinks everyone's celebrating and that he's a hero. Then we sidestep again, and it says, I almost forgot, there's one more visitor to the island this week who is coming in a storm with waves, lightning, all that jazz. And they say, but this one was uninvited. So there is a girl. She's looking a little ragged, and she's got some sort of pouch tied around her neck. We're not sure what it is, but she followed a map, and she's found the island, and it's very lost right there. This is very like, we have to go back. So I feel like she's maybe either been there before and is coming back, or maybe she's heard about it and that's what it is. But So that's the end of issue 1. It ends on To Be Continued, which was very surprising to me because I thought each one of these issues was going to be a self-contained story and they were all going to interrelate. So maybe the first 2, maybe like some stories close off and other ones begin. I don't know yet. On the back here, it says Tiki Talk. I'll just read what Mark wrote. It's, well, if that's not an ominous way to end our first issue, I don't know what is. Welcome, readers, to our latest adventure through the Disney kingdoms. The mysteries of the Enchanted Tiki Room and its inhabitants are just beginning to unfold, but while you wait for our next installment, kick back and gaze in enchantment at the pantheon of variant covers for this issue. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different covers that they list back here. Doesn't say that they have a theme park exclusive cover. I know they did that for Haunted Mansion for an issue or 2, but yeah. So overall, I enjoyed this more than I expected to. From the sound of it, it sounded like it was going to be one of those like I'm just going to read it and for you guys and talk about it and just see what it is. But I actually found some of it to be kind of funny. I thought the humor was a little more loose in this one where it wasn't, it kind of could have appealed to everybody, like that Lance joke. And, I like the way it looks. The island is interesting. I'm kind of interested to see how it all plays out, where all those stories, are they going to intermingle? Is it going to be individual? So needless to say, I think this is a good start. I think this is actually going to be a lot of fun. Again, similar to the Haunted Mansion, this one will be a lot of fun to read with people, like with your kids, or maybe you've got other fans. But I'm happy with this. I'm curious to see if they're going to keep going with this. What do you guys think what's the next attraction is going to be? So Haunted Mansion, Tiki Room. Did we get a Pirates one yet? But I don't know that they'll do Pirates because, we already have all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. So they kind of are already exploring that. Country Bear Jamboree. Country Bear Jamboree. I bet that's what the next one will be. I'm taking bets. So, I liked it. I'm going to give you guys a little recommendation. Get some of these sleeves, these plastic sleeves. You can buy like a pack of 100 for not much money on like Amazon or something. I'll try and find a link and put it in here. And take it, and then you can seal it up and keep your first issue in there, and then you can keep it in something like that. Usually you can get a board too that they'll put in the back of the comic book store or something like that. They usually sell them at the comic store for like $1.25 or something like that. But you can just you want to make sure to do that because even though you may not be touching it or it might be on a shelf or something like that, there's the humidity in the air kind of sometimes messes with it if you ever want to sell it again. But I do that until you find something you're going to do with it. If you're going to frame them all, like if you've got a whole tiki room set up, I know that's a very big culture. This might be kind of cool to like get all these issues and like frame them all above a tiki bar or something like that. There's a lot of cool things that you could do with these, or get multiple issues. And you can do an arts and crafts video with it. Maybe make like a tiki glass out of images from it or something like that. I don't know. Now I'm like, my head is, I'm wondering, like, should I do something? But I'm a fan. And I'm going to say I like the start of this one more than I like the start of the Haunted Mansion. Well, I don't know. I just feel like the Haunted Mansion started really fast and it didn't go anywhere. Whereas I feel like this one was a good intro. It's the right pace. It doesn't feel like it was rushed or anything. Whereas the Haunted Mansion, I felt like they were halfway through the attraction, so to speak, before the first issue was over, and then the other issues kind of lingered. So maybe this one will move at a different pace. But if you guys are going to check this out, I really want to know what your thoughts are. So, if you've gotten it or even just what I've said, what do you guys think? What do you think the next attraction is going to be? Do you enjoy the Disney Kingdoms comic book? What comic books are you reading? Because this is a Marvel comic book. So we are crossing two streams here. I am reading the Civil War storyline in Marvel right now, which is fantastic. And I am also, what else am I reading? I'll do a review of the first issue of the Champions, which is this new form of the Avengers. They're like young Avengers. But that just started too. That just came out this month. And I was like waiting to read that because it dealt with issues in Civil War. So I needed to like read the Civil War issue before I got there. And that reminds me, I need to go to the comic book store. I've got some comics on hold. So I'm going to end this episode right here. Head on over to my local comic book shop and pick these up. If you don't have one near you, Amazon is always a great choice. I know that they keep these well stocked. And I think that's that. So like I said, give me some feedback. What are you guys reading? You reading comics? What are you reading? Something else? Reading books? What are you doing? What are you doing? Talk to me. Leave some comments here. Tweet at me, DizPop Show. Facebook, also up there. All that fun stuff. But that'll do it for this episode. I'll see you again, guys, in the next episode of DizPop.